Hello and welcome to Marvel's Pack Fresh with Elusive Collectibles, Spidey Jew 09, and Sketch Card Hive. And today we're MIA is Ginger Man. So we're going to start today and we're going to talk about sealed product.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
All right, guys. So what's on your guys' mind as far as sealed product? We'll start with Justin.
Gosh, well, I just ripped 19 boxes of X-Men Metal, the sealed product.
Just 19?
Yeah, just 19. Yeah, so it's interesting with sealed product for me. I own 2 sealed boxes that I still have sealed. I don't know that you guys even know that.
Because I had no idea.
I'm a box breaker. Like, I can't stand the thought of not being able to see what's inside of a pack or in a box. I love the adrenaline rush of opening it. I love the gamble, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely love pulling fire out of a box. And fortunately, you know, I've pulled some really good stuff.
Fortunately, Spidey Jew has the best luck out there, just so everybody knows. Okay. Yeah. Fortunately, nothing.
It's transferable. So if
you better be.
If you want to ever open a box,
he said it better be.
Yeah, hit me up.
What am I doing here otherwise? I don't get this.
Right. I'll web sling some luck to you, and it'll be fun.
Good. I got it. Perfect. All the juju's on me.
You got some of the juju when we opened
it. That was because I was opening it with you. That was we were just talking to Elusive about this, but I opened a box of metal, and every pack had an insert in it. It was the craziest thing. I've heard of loaded boxes and all this kind of stuff, but that was just completely next level. But it was because Spidey Jew was there. It had nothing to do with me. Otherwise, I get terrible luck in opening product.
Totally. And so, yeah, I get the whole point of keeping something sealed, especially, you know, in a sense from an investment standpoint. But for me, like, it's really, really hard. So the 2 boxes that I have sealed are the 1990 Marvel Universe. And, you know, it's just a really bad time to open it right now.
Yeah.
And so it's easy for me to keep that sealed. I know what's in the box.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Really that chase aspect of it. I'm happy to have them. Don't get me wrong. But probably the most fun I've had ripping a box is actually the 1995 Metal. And that's just because of where it landed with me from a nostalgia standpoint of ripping those packs. It was a lot of fun. If I could acquire a box today, well, I mean, it's...
No, let's save that. Let's save that.
It would be a dream box, but yeah. So for me, it's really hard. It's really hard not to have boxes.
I'm right there with you, but for me, I don't know how both you and Sketch Card have the discipline to take your time on the unboxing videos. I shared this with you, Justin, as well, or sorry, Spidey, right? That when I get a box, I feel the same way you feel about box breaking, where if I get something in the mail, I don't have the discipline to set it up, show everybody what I got. No, I just want to see it. I've been waiting for it for a week or whatever the case may be, and I just want to open it. So
I have time to press record, huh?
No, I can't do it. I need to start practicing that, but especially with bigger stuff that I've been wanting to get, and then I finally get it, I'm just like, I'm barely walking back from my mailbox, and I got my pocket knife opening it up the package.
Well, listen, here's what helps with the discipline for me is I feel like I'm in a very fortunate season of life where I can acquire some of these boxes, and I know that was not always true for me, and so I want to put it on video because I know there's somebody out there who wants to be able to enjoy it in that way, and then Lord willing, one day they'll be able to open their own boxes. You know what I mean? So for me, that kind of helps slow down my desire to open it and get it on camera.
I'm gonna try that. And I like that word, seasons. You're right. Everything's a season, right? Right now, it's a season of this, and in a couple months, we might not be able to get some of these boxes anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 4 years ago. All I would have been able to do is afford YouTube to be able to watch. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I depend on box breaks to like understand before I buy anything, because it's very hard for me to buy into anything blind, especially something that's like that can totally be something that's just for fun. And what I mean by that is like, you know, I don't have a lot of money in particular. You know, all the things I've gotten have been mostly through trading up or through, you know, budgeting and hunting one particular thing down over another. But yeah, I'm very, very picky before I dive into anything, especially boxes. I think for Marvel metal. I think I bought 3 boxes or something like that, which is the most I've ever purchased. And it was because like, and I would never have gotten that 3rd box if that 2nd box hadn't paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for me, cracking boxes, man, don't get me wrong. I love cracking boxes. I remember I was a neighborhood kid in Miami, Florida. And we had an next door neighbor who's like a brother to me, my friend Anthony, and his dad bought him cards all the time. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't ask for trading cards because I was more like, even back then I would hunt for particular cards. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like ask for boxes of trading cards. I would, get like, other stuff or whatever. Anyway, but he got 1st edition Pokemon box booster. Mm-hmm. And we're on his stoop and he's opening them up. And man, I was playing Pokemon on my Game Boy. I was a huge Charmander, Charizard fan. I was into Dragonair. And I was just like, man, I just want to pull Charizard. And, back then, all the neighborhood kids were around and kind of like picking on me and stuff like that. Cause, I was very, very sweet and very, very gentile. And he was like, how about this? This pack right here probably has a Charizard, $5 and you can have it. Right? Like tempting me, like teasing me. And I was like, fine. And no joke, I pulled that Charizard right out of the box, right out of that pack that he handed me for $5. It was the best to date card store I've ever had to experience. And it was just the most insane because everybody was there. You know what I mean? Because it was such like a big thing. And being a neighborhood kid, that was a big deal to have someone have a box of cards. And he also had a box of Marvel Creator Collection, 1998, when it first released. So it's just insane. He was always into cards, sports guy, very, kind of like a brother to me now, very much a brother to me now, but just a funny, crazy box packing story. But I've never been able to deep dive into it. And it's only now where I'm kind of into it because from my perspective, being so picky as a collector, only because I only like to get the pieces that I feel I'm actually going to keep. You know what I mean? And keep for a long time. I really don't buy into a product unless I know I can sell the contents of that product to get something I want.
Norton, I got a question. What if Marvel released a product and Surfer was on the box? Like Silver Surfer.
They have done it.
What's that?
They have done it.
Marvel Masterpieces.
1996 Marvel Masterpieces. They also did it for Marvel Universe 4, I think too. Ron Lim, Silver Surfer hand coming out. You also have Marvel versus Windstorm, which a lot of people don't know about. And Surfer's on the front of that box too. It's painful.
You haven't felt compelled to acquire one of those boxes as a Surfer collector?
Graded Gamer got me covered on 2 of those.
Good for her.
And then I actually have something pretty crazy about that real quickly. So Fantastic Four Archives is a set to 2008. And on the box, they show sketch cards. And the Rittenhouse cards back in the day would show sketch cards on their sell sheets and their boxes. And these are sketch cards. They're the cards you can possibly get inside the box. I bought the Silver Surfer sketch card, the only sketch card of Silver Surfer to ever be featured on the box. I have it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just by dumb luck.
Original art of the box cover.
Which is great. It's really cool. I was really lucky to find that. Was dumb luck. It's by Warren Martinek, who I'm a huge fan of, and a good friend of ours, Matt Fuller, had it. And I had bought the Surfer from him just because I was like, well, I always liked Martinek because he's the godfather of sketch cards. He really is. Like the amount of innovation and everything is just historically, I wanted a Surfer by him. And not, I think like 6 months later, I was like, I finally got the sell sheet from FFA and I was like, wait a minute. I saw the card. I was like, no freaking way.
Sweet.
And he's the one who does those cover recreations, right?
Yeah. And he has his own YouTube channel too. Matt Fuller does not, Warren Martinek, but Warren Martinek's famously known for the cover recreations. But Matt Fuller has his own channel on YouTube and he's doing primarily sketch cards. So you guys need to check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll put that information in the description down below.
Is he still taking commissions?
Warren, yeah, Martinek for
A
sure.
couple of covers I'd like for him to read.
I would definitely. I mean, it can't be stopped. It's
Yeah.
just awesome. Like I've showed you guys the Mobius piece or whatever, but I can share that. Hold on.
Yeah,
a
no
second.
worries. I'm going to jump in just to a question while
Please.
we're talking about sealed product. I've been asked what's a cheap box that I could break for a younger kid that still has a good amount of value. And here's one. I'll jump into it right away, and then you guys can share your thoughts as well. But it's to me, and I just bought a few boxes as a disclosure as well, just to put it out there. But I just bought a few boxes of the 2003 Upper Deck Hulk movie, only because of those comic Hulk covers. Right? Those boxes are still going for $50. And if you see the box breaks, you're going to get one out of 3 packs. You're going to get one of those inserts. So to me, it just pays for itself because those inserts go for about $5 to $10. Even at $5, if you're going to get 12 of those inserts, and here's an example. When you guys seen them, but for whomever hasn't seen them, they have great Hulk covers.
Yeah, I actually just traded for 2 of the Hulk cover cards. I love them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous. They're gold
They're awesome.
foil.
Mm-hmm.
They're super under. Actually, those were some of the last ones I needed for my surfer collection. I had no idea they existed, to be honest. But they have the year on them. They're gold. They're not hard numbered, but they're definitely difficult to get.
Correct.
You don't see them listed on eBay. They're pretty hard to find.
And these, I mean, everybody jumped towards these. The 1991, right?
I think that's
issue?
80 at first covers.
87. You're right. Yeah, so everybody jumped towards these, but personally, I like the frame and the design of these ones. It's a clean look.
You don't see them.
Yeah,
Really
not the popular ones, right? Another one that everybody wants is the Wolverine first appearance with Hulk.
Hulk.
That's in there too.
I have 2 of the 1987 comic images. I think is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
At PSA, they're not high grades because those things were cut with a dull knife. So it's like they were ripped,
Yeah,
but
they're really bad.
I bought a box of those. I think I got it for like $200, and then like while I was opening it, the guy that was with me was like, "Hey, one of these is like on eBay for $800 right now." I was like, I don't care. I got to open it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But yeah, it's a great set. I mean, I'm
beautiful.
For me, I mean, the actual base set doesn't do anything for me because they're just based off the movie with Eric Bana, right? But as far as those inserts, I mean, you're getting your money's worth. And again, you could pick up a box for $50. So that's, if anybody's listening that's younger that doesn't have much money to play with, that's a great box to rip, and it scratches that itch.
And those inserts are the ones that get graded. I think any insert that's like short printed, hard to find, that features iconic images from Marvel Comics, that has any kind of foiling on it, those are going to present really well.
And because that art is so familiar to comic book collectors, as they move into the trading card space, they're going to go, yes, I want one of those. Pretty cool.
They're going to want to pair with their comic book with their CGC 9.8s.
So So one of the bigger YouTube content creators for comic books, I was watching his video yesterday, and he was talking about being at Tripicon, and he's like, "And here's my comic book, and I got the card to go with it, PSA graded, and it was like a 6. He didn't care. He just wanted it sitting right beside his comic book. He actually did it twice, and I was like, "There it is. It's happening.
It's happening, man. Like, how can you not?"
As a content creator, because he did it, he's getting 10,000 views a video. Other comic book collectors are going to be like, "Yep."
They're going to follow suit. Yeah, and that's what I love about this too, man. That anybody that crosses over from other, hobbies or anything else like sports guys, we already know what they're going after. But that's a great point. That's what comic guys coming into the hobby would go after, and that's what's awesome. There's something for everyone. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, honestly, anybody who comes into the card game is going to come in for different reasons. When Marvel Masterpiece 2020 came out and they announced Dave Palumbo was the artist, all of a sudden, all the people who were into Magic the Gathering, but also had similar interest in Marvel, all ran for MM20. Bianchi, who did MM18, Marvel Masterpieces 2018, huge famous comic book artist, does covers for Marvel, does interior art, it's top dog type of thing. When they announced him on that set, all the comic book original art, owners were like, well, I'm not going to pass this up, and jumped into the set. I think what we're very fortunate to have with Marvel is that so many different people from so many different backgrounds can kind of jump into this and get really into the hobby. And it's going to come in at all different points. And yeah, I think the Hulk thing is a great suggestion. Elusive will be back in a minute. I'm sure just drop connection. We'll have him in a sec.
I have a question for you, Sketch Card, while I wait for Elusive to jump back.
Yeah,
on.
sure.
So what is the most expensive sealed Marvel box?
The most expensive sealed Marvel box, there's 3 that are the tops. And the 3 are Marvel Masterpieces 2016.
And what would you say that goes for?
I think there's someone trying to sell one for $1,200.
Got you.
Yeah. The problem with the Marvel Masterpiece boxes, especially the 2016, is that if you're in the game, you know what's been pulled, and what people are trying to get are the one-of-ones, and a lot of the one-of-ones have been pulled out of that particular year. It's expensive because I think that box and that set is so iconic to modern Marvel card collecting. So that's a pretty big deal box, but it's definitely not at the top. I don't think yet. It's not at the top yet.
So the Venom, the Spider-Man, the Wolverine, those have been pulled.
Those have been pulled. I'm pretty sure each one of those have been pulled, actually. The next thing to look at would be the 1996 Marvel Masterpieces box.
Mm-hmm.
That has always been expensive. Always been expensive. And that is definitely the one. If you're thinking about keeping a box sealed, that's probably the one to keep sealed.
Right.
There is a chance of those cards bricking together. I've seen people opening packs and not having that issue, but it is a possibility.
And if you want to see one of those sealed boxes being ripped open, Watch Me Open, that's his YouTube channel. Billy is actively ripping open an entire sealed box. It's insane.
Great guy, super awesome content, super fun, loves the hobby.
Yeah.
Definitely check him out. He's a beast. I'm still surprised he did it, but he's still doing it.
He's still ripping it. Yep.
Still ripping it.
That's 2 of the 3 you were mentioning.
That's 2 of the 3. Thank you, because I was just about to lose count. But I think the other one is definitely the 2013 Fleer Retro.
2013, yeah. There's so many inserts in that set.
They're just all good. They're just all good inserts. And I think the thing about 2013 Fleer Retro and 2015 Fleer Retro is also great. And they have the one-of-ones, PMGs. But the first set of PMGs in Marvel and some other very high-end inserts is from 2013 Fleer Retro. And this is how the money count works with that particular set. So we had the Spider-Man PMG green go for 30, the red go for 10, the blue go for 20 or 15. I forget how much it was, but definitely over the $5,000 marker, even on the red. So if you buy a box for under $5,000, you know what I mean? There are like some really good characters in there they could pull their PMGs for.
And there's what, 99 of the red or 100? I don't remember.
100 or 99, 50 of the blue or 49 of the blue, and then 10 of the green.
And so you got 160 cards, roughly, that would pay for the box.
Pretty much. And there's other characters other than Spider-Man that would definitely pay for that box if you got it under the $5,000 or even the $2,000 marker. Better off under the $2,000 marker, but I don't know how much that box would be. I think that's probably the box, if it ever went to auction, that would probably be the case. If there was a case of that went to auction, you're looking at 30, 25K.
Yeah. No, because a case probably guarantees at least one green.
And that's the trick. And there's a lot of good characters in that PMG lineup. I think there's 40 characters in that lineup. Is that right?
Something like that. That's
something like that. 30 or 40.
40 is ringing a bell. I don't have it memorized.
It's a small amount, but each character, I don't think there's any duds, really.
And it's good art.
It's great art.
That's the
definitely great art. And you have all the Fantastic Four in there. You have Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you have characters that are currently banned. That should be an episode we should do too.
Yeah.
Talk about banned characters.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That would be something upcoming that we'll do for you guys, which would be really fun.
So of the 3 boxes you mentioned, you grabbed one. It's kind of interesting the time frames, but one's 96, and then 2013 and 2016. Is that right? Two of the Marvel masterpieces. I mean, those are original art, incredible quality from what I've seen and experienced. Even for 1996, it was a step above anything else at the time.
Anything that they've done. Even people look at 92 and they think that's iconic, and it was incredible quality even then.
Art, but not to the level of
not in card, because like in the 96 ones you have something called, you know, an embossed, right? Then embossed cards, which are the double impacts, and the gold gallery, which definitely ups the level of quality.
So to focus in on 96 a little bit more, not a lot of them printed, not a lot produced, and highly sought after in the community. And so
always.
So those,
always.
Yeah. So the value of those are going to continue to go up. They're not going to go down. Right. And so keeping them sealed has a lot of benefit in terms of if you own one. Right.
Yeah.
I think there's so much risk in ripping that box, but at the same time, it can be really rewarding too. If the cards are in good condition, you take care of them, and if you're able to get them in to get graded, I mean, you're talking.
That's the game. I think the trick is with 96, because you have a possibility of the cards bricking with each other, that puts your value at zero.
Yeah.
You know, and I know many people be, yeah, but I'll still enjoy them. Okay, well then you'll still enjoy them. But in terms of like trying to, and again, I think differently about this. Not everybody thinks the same way as this. You know what I mean? But like if you open up a box of 1996 Marvel masterpieces and you have an X amount on that box, right? My idea for when you crack a box, which is what Elusive was talking about, the moment you crack a box at that value, you're hoping that your value will be multiplied by whatever amount through the individual cards.
Right.
Once that doesn't happen, you shouldn't crack a box unless it's for pure enjoyment. And, you know, I think that's awesome. Or video content. I mean, how often are we going to get to enjoy or see people opening up these boxes? At one point, they're gone, right? The supply will be dried up. And we're getting there, I think, for some of the rarer boxes.
Point, there's multiple reasons to break a box. I think if you're spending that kind of money, you better be prepared to have spent that kind of money for the enjoyment,
right?
Because you don't know what you're going to get when you rip it, especially something that old. I mean, think about the age that set is hitting.
It's older. I mean, like, you know, people, the big naysayers when it comes to Marvel, and we're talking about sealed product on this episode.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are a lot of reasons why you would buy a box of something. I think a lot of people looked at Marvel Metal to buy Marvel Metal because they thought PMGs are coming back. They're going to be in this box. This is why we're going to go hard on these boxes. Unfortunately, one of the big drawbacks of what happened from that was the quality of the cards was not there, as they have been in the past. I think they're great cards and people still paying good money for them. You know what I mean? And
for me, having, you know, as we opened the episode, I purchased 19 boxes of that product. The quality impacted me greatly. Number one. Number two, not pulling my green PMG until the very last box. Had I pulled the green PMG in, say, box number 5, I would have very much slowed down, if not stopped, with the rest of the box. I had all kinds of other thoughts and plans in which, you know, and some of it was to hold some sealed boxes for time over time. But I just had a strong sense that card was there, and it kept me ripping it open. But the quality of those cards, you know, made it really tough.
Yeah, it did make it tough. I mean, I remember you opening them, and I think it was great content. I think a lot of people appreciate it. And you pulled fire. You definitely pulled fire. But I think at one point you have to kind of look at those boxes and be like, okay, what am I in this for? Right. And that's something to think about for all of you out there. When you're buying sealed product, you have to know if I'm buying a box of something or a case of something, what am I in for it at what point? You know, am I looking to multiply an investment? Am I having money sit in there growing? Is this something so I can enjoy over a long period of time? You know, two very good friends of mine actually buy boxes of cards, and then once a month or once every 2 weeks or something, these two brothers each open a box of the same product, which is great.
Fun.
Isn't that fun? Yeah, and they're really great. They post in the Facebook group, and they're very good friends of mine. But they open up a box.
Come do the Rittenhouse.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That was a lot of fun.
They're super nice. They're gems. Very good people, and they're in it for sketch cards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? Like, and they pull sketch cards and they just make it like a family affair, and they have a good time doing it. Like, it's super awesome. You know, I think that makes a lot of sense to me.
And that's a cool pace too, you know.
Yeah, good pace. Yeah, I like that. Like, that's an option. Like, if you're looking at sealed product and doing stuff like that, that's what I would do. Like, you know, if I had a friend who lived really close to me, you know what I mean? We'd be like, all right, let's do boxes. You know what I mean? Then I would go half on a case and then a box every time. You know what I mean? We hang out or whatever.
You know, the internet makes us close.
That's true. We could do that. I want to do that with you. You know, I'm actually kind of serious. We were just talking about this before the show. And again, sorry, Gingy Man and Elusive's not here. I'm waiting for Elusive to come back, but I haven't seen a message by him. So we're gonna keep going.
That must go on.
The Marvel card group must go on. The pack fresh. We're holding strong.
Yeah.
You know, being a Marvel podcast, you know, we're also looking at other cards like Star Wars. You know what I mean? And that's something we've talked about cracking together and you know, doing something like that. But definitely something we should do maybe on the channel. You know what I mean? Like, split a case and just do a box every other episode or something. I mean, that's going to be painful, but I could do that.
You know, I'm in. So
yeah, we'll do that.
So, all right, in the realm of sealed,
yes.
How does EPAC factor into this conversation?
Ooh, this is good. Damn, you're good. You're so good. So I don't know if you know this. I think you've seen it though. But you started realizing that people are buying packs and boxes but not opening it and then waiting for it to sell out?
That didn't hit me until probably 2 weeks ago, where somebody jumped on and they were like, "I think I only have 3 more months to open this, or it'll automatically be shipped to me." You know what I mean? And I was like, dang, like that's 3 years, 4 years or something like that.
Yep.
That these sealed packs or boxes, however EPAC holds them, it's just sitting there, not open yet. And so the public doesn't know.
Yep. Yeah, so Elusive's back. So yay for Elusive. Elusive!
Elusive is
no worries.
You're like, is he there? No, he's Elusive.
He's there. He's a mystery. But no, we were just talking. So we talked about, so just to fill you in, we talked about the 3 most expensive boxes. Unless, you know what, this will be fun. Let's see if Elusive agrees with me. Elusive, what are the 3 most expensive boxes for Marvel cards?
Sealed boxes.
Okay.
Sealed boxes.
Number 1 is 96 Marvel Masterpieces.
Bingo.
Number 2 is 2013 Fleer Retro.
Double bingo.
And number 1, this one's the tough one because it's the third. I'm going to say it's going to be between the...
Oh, you get one guess, bro.
Okay, one guess? Okay.
You're so messed up. You don't get one guess.
I mean, for me, it would be a tie between the 2018, the 2017 Spider-Man, and the 2015 Fleer.
That's interesting. See, that's interesting because I mentioned the Marvel Masterpiece 2016.
2016.
Oh, that's right. That is.
But
right.
But you know, you might be right because I think the 2015 Fleer Retro does have the 1-of-1 PMGs, which is a big deal. A lot of those have been pulled. I know the Spider-Man's been pulled, the Wolverine's been pulled. So the 2 biggies have been pulled for that.
But Elusive makes a very good point that, you know, from his perspective as a collector, it has PMGs in it. And so that probably pushes it, because to you sketch cards, you value, or you see, because as a more of an inside collector, right, that the red spectrums are very valuable, right?
Special
for original art collectors, of which Marvel has. But when you're talking about what people will pay for something, the more buyers there are, the higher the price goes. And there's more buyers for PMGs, and there will be. So it makes perfect sense, Elusive.
It really does, and I'm glad we asked you that question because I want people to know because it's a tricky question. But I think I can't think of anything else that's okay. So there's one more.
Mhm.
There's one more. Now this is to
Hey,
sketch card
Does it
collectors.
start with 98,
It starts with 97.
97?
QFX.
1997. I wish. That's a cheapo box. QFX is underrated, by the way. I think it's great. There's actually an interesting autograph set in there. Every base card has an autograph version, and the card's a different texture, and there's only 35 each. So very rare, very hard to get. A lot of people don't know about that insert. It's very secret, very special. But I think a box that's extremely expensive and hard to find and elusive is the 1997 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man.
Oh,
And
that's
that's because of the sketch cards. The sketch cards that are in there are drawn by some of the biggest Marvel legends of all time.
right.
And that
Right.
box is really special. That's a special box. Not every box guarantees a sketch card either.
Was that the number one on my top 10?
Yes.
Yes.
Was it? It had to be. You had
Yeah.
to done it. Yeah, because you killed that video, by the way. Yeah, you guys should definitely check that out. Spidey Jew did a top 10 inserts.
Oh, that's
And
right.
Elusive, Elusive did one as well for based on. I think you need to watch both of them.
Mhm.
I'm saying this not only because I'm jealous, but because they're actually good pieces of information that I wish I would have done. But those two videos are very clean because a lot of Marvel card collectors who are just getting into the hobby, and Elusive taught me this, are very much going to get into cards that just look really good. And yes, art is subjective, but there's usually a consensus between Marvel card collectors on what art is like. That's why Masterpieces is so special.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. Then to you guys' point, I think that you're right. I think it depends on where you're coming from. If you are not already a Marvel collector, if you're a sports guy, you're gonna gravitate towards those Fleer boxes. But I do believe that if you were like a hardcore Marvel collector already, to you it's the Marvel Masterpieces. It makes sense, because those are very special cards as well. You got the red Spectrums that you guys mentioned. You guys have a lot of the Jusko autograph cards that are out of 50. There's a
Those
lot
are a
of
big
nice
deal to people.
the kaleidoscopes out of 25.
Yeah.
That's a huge insert.
They're nice. They're really nice. I have a little bit of a problem with Silver Spectrum autos from MM16. And the reason for that is not because they're not expensive or nice. I think they're nice, and yes, they're difficult to have. And no, I do not have a Silver Surfer one. So this is me
Reaching out.
It could come off as me being jealous or biased, for sure. But I will say that their Dynamic Forces had Jusko sign 5,000 cards from 1992 Marvel Masterpieces. There are 15 buyback autographs by Joe Jusko in MM16. There's also 10 signature What If cards from MM16, and then 10 Silver Spectrum autos. And for me, I'm very much a type of person who needs to have the rarity not necessarily be on word of mouth, but the actual rarity of something being on a particular card in a particular way. So when I think PMGs, yes, there's 10 green PMGs from 2013, and each one's demanding over a 2K price card. And you're like, yeah, but there's 10 of them and they're manufactured rarity. This is true, but it's such an iconic insert card. And it's so universally known that it makes sense why they're so desirable to people. That's my reasoning. That's why I get a little iffy on the autos from Joe Jusko. And
no, to your point too, at least there's no guesswork. It's hard numbered and that's it, right? There's no, like you said, just whatever you hear down the grapevine type of thing. It is what it is.
It's tricky. Hard number is important. And the Silver Spectrum autos are hard number. The What If are hard number. They're both out of 10. 10's the magic number in my mind. I think 10 is always the number people go after. And the reason it's the magic number, hopefully I'm not repeating myself, is because, and a good friend of mine told me this, it's not from my knowledge at all, someone much wiser than me, who told me 10 is always the one where most people will try to make a set.
Yeah,
you're right. Even with the Star Wars thing, I have a 1-of-1 Star Wars, and I haven't even been able to lock down the 1 out of 10, and I have the 1-of-1.
It's painful.
Yeah,
it's painful. That for my Mandalorian Rainbow, the Masterworks, the last one to get was not a printing plate, not the black 5 of 5, but the orange 10 of 10.
10 of 10.
Here's another one. I don't know if you guys covered this already while I was gone, but what is for you guys, and I could start it off. What's one sealed product that's modern and is slept on? And for me, that's a 2019 Flare. Those boxes are still could be had under $200. You could pull buybacks out of 20 in that box. You could pull a Lucky out of 8 that is very PMG-esque, right?
I would say beautiful, more beautiful than the metal PMGs. Those Jade 8s, those are.
Yeah, the Jades are out of 88. The Golds are out of 8.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those. I mean, and then you have the signature on-card autos out of 30. The Flareum Tier 6.
The Flareum Tier 6.
So those, to me, I mean, think about it like this: you could buy 3 boxes. What it would cost for you to buy a Black Diamond box? You know, not that either. It's whatever works for you, right? Not that I'm not. Just in my opinion, I see more value in the Flare boxes, but I also see the allure of the Black Diamond, and they have the MCU characters on there. So I see both sides.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Yeah, and Black Diamond. I mean, for me, and this comes to sealed product. When you do sealed product, you're looking for cards in the sealed product that are hard numbered. Mm-hmm. I think that's I don't know. What do you think, Spidey?
No, I agree. Hard number is going to create the value, and when you have sealed boxes that have hard numbers, that's gonna perpetuate value long term because people will be able to have a census of what's out there and what's remaining, and with that census, if those rare cards have not been pulled, the value is going to continue to go up.
Mm-hmm. And you know those sets are very fun to open. And here's another thought there in regards to opening these boxes is, for example, when someone opens, and we see this all the time nowadays, right? A lot of people that open Pokemon product, you already know what you're going to get. You already know what holographics are in there. It's repetitive, but it's still, you know, the I would say the allure of that is whether it's going to have great centering, whether it's going to grade a 10, whether you're going to pull the Charizard, right? Because the chances you're going to get 12 holographics, but you don't know which 12 holographics. In this case, you're going to open a box and you don't know if you're going to get the Lucky 8. For me, I'm chasing, and I'll throw this out there. Anybody that has this, I doubt it. There's only been one sale, but anybody that has the Lucky 8 Venom out of 8 card, I'll trade like a very hard to get sealed product for that card. I really want to lock that card down. To me, that's one of the best Venom artworks, if you guys seen it.
Beautiful piece.
I haven't seen it. I have to look it up. But hey, you kind of brought something to my mind, Alyssa. So with Pokemon, because that product is so popular, people have created another layer of rarity, even though it's not hard numbered. Mm-hmm. We're still talking about cards in the infancy of popularity.
That are hard numbered.
That are hard numbered. This isn't, I mean, it's pretty nuts to.
It's crazy.
Where hard numbered could eventually go.
I mean,
oh, sorry, one more thing. So at National, they were talking about sports cards. They were like, this one's so rare. It's 1 out of 499 LeBron James. I'm like, what?
I was
a $3 card.
I was talking to you guys privately about this too, but I recently, sold some of my Pokemon lower end slabs to Burbank Cards. Shout out to Ryan from Burbank. Great guy. They run a clean operation, very friendly, very cool vibe. But anyway, one of the things we were talking about is the same what you just mentioned, the LeBron refractor, numbered out of 220, I think it is, going for 35 to 40K. Now their comeback to that for me, by the way, and I brought that up, and their comeback was, but the sports market is way bigger than Pokemon, and so those numbers to them is like the equivalent of out of 20 for us.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean. But
it makes total sense.
I still couldn't see myself paying 40K for a card out of 220. Now, if it's a one-of-one, depending on who we're talking about, I'm sure, it would make sense. But no, not for a card out of 220.
That's why it's funny because when grading first started happening for Marvel cards, and it wasn't like this like a year ago. In Marvel cards, people were like, yeah, no one grades their Marvel cards. This is dumb. And only people like a Graded Gamer or a few others had the foresight to understand Turkey Birdies, who's the man, a Collectible Fun, who's just awesome. You know what I mean? Like those, there were people in the hobby that had this way figured out and were grading their Marvel cards and understood what was happening. And other people who keep their stuff on the DL. what's going to happen in Marvel, I think, is going to be that you have cards that were massively produced, which everybody always says, but it doesn't matter because what matters is if they're in good condition, not whether there were like 3 billion printed. It matters how many were kept nice or in good condition and you can find. That's the trick. People are going to grade them, and that's going to be hard numbered for Marvel cards. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm all
the hard number becomes the pop report.
Yeah.
There you
go. How many
Thank
10s
you.
is there? How many of those are going to score a 10?
And that becomes the hard number.
Yes.
That becomes a living hard number, right? The pop report. And you can go to psacard.com and you can check the pop report there. You can also go to Beckett. For Beckett, you have to be logged in to check the pop account, I believe.
For Beckett, you have to have an account. Correct.
SGC, HGA, I think it is, or something like that. A few other grading company card you can see on their website as well. It's all record keeping. But yeah, I do think pop counts is getting hard numbered on cards that were overproduced.
Another thing too, that to you guys' point, it's not going to take a lot of people to join the hobby to make the prices go up way higher just because of the numbered cards. Because even if we want to stick to PMGs, you know, the Browns are out of 199. You're going to tell me that there's not 200 Hulk fans or 200 Captain America fans that are going to pick those PMGs up?
Yeah.
So once there's like 1,000 people looking for this, we don't even need 10,000 plus. If there's 1,000 people looking for some of these pieces, it's going to be tough. Right now we're in the season, going back to Spidey's point, we're in the season of picking up what you can while you can.
Yeah. I agree. You got to be picking up. You got to be picking up right now if you want to collect.
Mm-hmm. Especially for Marvel. And, you know, just to bring this full circle and kind of move us to a close a little bit, you know, today's episode was about sealed product. We gave you a couple ideas. I think another sealed product that is a pretty nice thing, and there's some interesting cards in there, is like Marvel 75th anniversary. I think that's a good one. That's not super expensive. If you're into sketch cards, you should be looking at Rittenhouse products, Fantastic Four, X-Men Archives, Spider-Man Archives. Those are not like super, super expensive. Those are great to get some cool sketch cards in them. Not a lot of hard number stuff, but if you're into sketch cards, those are the ones that people tend to like. Trying to think of some other affordable boxes.
So I saw a sale of 1994 Marvel Masterpiece for $150.
That's great.
You got to, those do brick, but they seem to be a little more forgiving. From my experience of ripping them. Yeah. But it's great artwork. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not something from an investment standpoint, but just if you wanted to rip a box open.
Yeah, nice. Definitely. I think the gold signature cards, right? That's something for beginner collectors to look at. You know, 95 and 94 Marvel Masterpieces both started the trend of having the artists. It's not a real signature. It's a foil signature, so it's just printed on there. But what people don't understand is that those cards graded at a high grade are going to be extremely valuable.
Yeah, I've got a Black Panther 94 gold signature at PSA right now. Super excited about it.
That's cool. That's a beautiful piece.
It's and that's kind of the number one card in that set, Black Panther.
Yeah, it's a great card.
Beautiful card. Beautiful card. Yeah, so there are cards out there to be checked out. There are things to look up. There's some great sealed product out there. Let us know in the comments down below products you're looking for, products you have. We're always happy to help no matter what you need. But
yeah, leave your guys' top 3 boxes. Well, I want to know what people deem the top 3 to be. You know,
that's great. I love it. All right. Well, thank you all for joining in, and we'll see you all soon.
Yeah. Have a great one, guys.
Have a marvelous day.
Have a marvelous day. That's right.
Marvelous day.